So today I wanted to talk about Eyes of the Void. I'm a little under the weather, so forgive any croakiness of the voice, and I'm gonna probably keep this video a little brief. I like this book way more than Shards of Earth. The pacing was far better. Oddly enough, it was about 100 pages longer, which is exactly what I said the first book needed to be to pace things better. The supporting characters felt like they got a lot more screen time than the first book. One thing that did continue that I found a little odd were the Mundy sections. That's a POV that just, I'm not sure why it's there. It's almost like the author is trying to set up for a sacrifice at the end and wants the reader to feel attached to this character so that the sacrifice will have impact. I'm not sure if that's true. I haven't read the third book as of recording this, but that's what it kind of feels like to me. Because the Monday POV sections are just kind of boring. But since the author wrote them in, then I'm gonna have to just assume that he's important, even if his POV sections bore me at the moment. One thing I did notice were death of people you're supposed to like were far fewer. I think in total there were more deaths in general in this book, but in the first book there were at least two deaths of characters that we're supposed to like. And in this book there was none of that. Generally, I'm not a fan of using character deaths to raise stakes, but it just felt like an odd shift to me since the first one established that the author wasn't afraid to kill a character. The Solus and Idris relationship is weird. I'm not sure if that's because the author just doesn't like writing relationships, which that's their prerogative, but it doesn't feel like they're in a relationship, even though it outright states that there are only really two, maybe three instances in the whole book where it felt like they cared about each other. Other minor gripes were the author's lessened but still prevalent usage of bigger words than necessary. Largesse seems to stick out in my mind as something that just say they got paid. Or they used liaison in a bit of a euphemistic manner for all relationships, which, again, why? It doesn't gain you any, it just feels weird. But I did like where this book went a lot more than the first. The stakes continue to raise, of course, but the story itself just felt more thought through. Because the first book, it often went from crisis to crisis. It didn't feel like you were following a thought through narrative arc. It felt like you were just reading whatever crisis the author decided to put the characters in for this particular set of pages. And this one felt more like a cohesive arc. It felt like the author knew where they were going, and the story was taking them and us, the reader, to that location. But aside from that, I enjoyed it a lot. I'm looking forward to reading the next book, and I thought this one was far better than the first book, almost entirely because the pacing didn't make me tired. But if you like this video, please leave a like, if not a dislike, and let me know what your thoughts of this series are in the comment section. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.